Right, it's drag racing time again. Now, if you saw the last time we got an opportunity to race a KTM MotoGP bike, you'll realise just how much I got destroyed. We bought a KTM SuperBusa road bike, very fast one, and Dani Pedrosa rode the KTM MotoGP bike and annihilated me. I didn't even see which way he went. So this time we've come back with a supercharger. So we're going to see how we get on. Danny,
Hello.
good to see you again, dude.
Nice to see you again.
So, have you made your bike faster?
I don't think so. I think it's pretty much the same. Maybe the start is a bit faster.
No.
But top speed is about the same.
So for the start, obviously we talked a lot last time about the whole shot device.
Yeah.
What's changed? Are you a little bit? Is it now a little bit lower, or?
Could be, yeah, that it's a bit lower than last year. But especially last year I was using only, I think, the rear one. So now I got also in the front.
So this year I've got a quicker bike. I've got 360 horsepower and a longer, lower chassis. Power-wise, how much more am I got than you?
Well, I think power-wise, quite 360 horsepower is quite many more horsepower than mine. How much the bike weighs?
It's fairly heavy. It's like 255 kilos.
Yeah, so power to weight ratio could be similar, but you know, it depends all on how much amount of power you can put directly. Obviously, the wheel spin is important.
Yeah. Well, I'm hoping to be closer this year. I will be surprised if I can beat you, even with the supercharger. But Danny,
Cool.
Good luck today, mate.
Yeah, you too.
See what happens.
Stealing his stickers. It's about all I'm qualified to do on this.
We're lowering the front forks by using a strap between the bottom of the fork and the yoke, pulling weight down, waking it up. So we've got the front end down.
Bit more rudimentary than a MotoGP system, but
Got it pulled
same
down about
principle.
2 inches at the front,
Same load on the rear.
and it's already lowered on the rear.
So we go that way, not that way.
Launch function's on 1, so if it comes up, it should not go all the way, but you'll load that anyway because you're clever and a better rider than anybody else here, apart from Dani Pedrosa.
I was going to say, there's one definite exception. Okay, now you're going to embarrass me, but Danny said I was better than him at wheelies, which has made my day.
We all heard it.
Oh, it's still just as mental as the last time I rode it. I think that wheel spun most of the way. This thing is just ridiculous.
He's trying to get notes, he's trying to see, I think it's going to be interesting today because this thing actually launches really, really well. It comes off the lines harder than most stuff, the modifications Richard's done with the lowering suspension and obviously having a supercharger. It's very important on this sort of thing. I think it's going to be close today. I'm still nervous that the KTM MotoGP bike's got the edge, but once this thing's moving, it is an absolute missile. So you remember that shot of Rossi sweeping the grid spot? Yeah, I'm watching you. You're looking for the best bit of tarmac.
Looks powerful.
It's crazy.
Let's see.
What will win in a drag race between a Rimac Nevera, a Red Bull KTM MotoGP bike and a crazy Suzuki Hayabusa that's been supercharged? Well, we're going to find out because I'm going to race them over the Stanley Quarter Mile. Now let me tell you about the Rimac Nevera. So it's got 2 electric motors, 1 on each axle, obviously 4-wheel drive with crazy torque vectoring and all that kind of stuff, and combined It has 1,914 horsepower and 2,360 newton meters of torque. It's also very expensive, £2 million. But what about the other machines? Well, let's speak to their riders, starting with Dani Pedrosa, who has won 31 MotoGPs. Hello Danny, tell me about your bike, give me the stats on it.
So this bike has around 270 plus horsepower. We don't know exactly yet the number. Then it weighs around 157 kilos. And so that would be quite a good combination between power and weight ratio.
And the engine in it, what is it? What's the capacity?
Engine is a B4 1000cc and with a torque around 1200 Newton, more or less.
Okay, well, good luck. Let's find out a bit more about that Suzuki Hayabusa from Chris Northover from Bike World. So, hello Chris, you all right?
Hello Matt, good to be back, and I've got some more horsepower this time.
Yeah, you've got quite a lot of horsepower for a bike, haven't you?
Yeah, you could argue it might be too much, but we'll find that out today. So this is the TTS Suzuki SuperBusa. It's kind of built as the bike Suzuki should have made, in Richard Albans' own words. It's 380 horsepower, 10,800 RPM. It uses a custom-made supercharger. It's got 18 PSI of boost, and it makes 340 Newton meters of torque in a bike that weighs around 250 kilos. So it is an absolute animal.
So what are you worried about in this race? What's going to be your problem?
Not dying.
Speaking of which, you almost did recently, didn't you? Tell us.
Yeah, I knew you were going to bring that up. Yeah, all the stupid things I do, I fell off on a cruisy evening trail ride with some friends, and yeah, did myself a fair amount of shoulder and rib cage and lung damage. So I'm riding with a clip wing today.
I mean, honestly, mate, huge respect to coming out riding that monster when you've got some broken bones. You're an absolute nutcase, and testament to how bikers are on another level to people who drive cars such as me. Now let's race. Let's get the riders to put the helmets on and we'll get going.
Just did a big wheel spin.
You
Burnout.
early.
So, right,
So-
first of all, I'm going to go to you, Danny, because obviously electric car, four-wheel drive, off the line, really good. Your launch looked pretty good though. Pretty good.
Not bad, but you had so much traction at the first meters.
I know.
You were winning by a lot.
I was winning by a lot to begin with, and I was watching you over my shoulder. I could see you over my shoulder, even despite this, and you were gaining.
Yes, I was recovering.
On me. I think if you get a slightly better launch,
It's going to be there.
Next
I
one.
didn't see the finish. I think you won, no?
you did the right thing though. You kept on going. That's the
Yeah,
right
yeah.
thing to do. Right, we're going to do it again, but first, Chris,
And a cold tyre.
a cold tyre.
Yeah, I literally wheel spun from here to the quarter mile.
So is your tyre now warm? 'Cause
It's
of
now
all the
warm.
spinning?
It's done a quarter mile burnout. It's now warm.
So shall we get into it very
Straight
quickly
away,
then?
yeah.
Let's go again. Come on.
It's on such a knife edge to get that right. It's amazing being traction limited, not wheelie limited on a bike. But the minute you overstep the mark, the minute that tyre spins, the race is cooked. You're not winning. So it's real hard. Again, just letting the tyre temperature drop a fraction and it kills it. So big burnout next time. Get a load of heat in the tyre. I'm wondering whether to drop a bit of pressure out. If, it's a big if I can get it to hook up, we're going to be closer. But those two things are ridiculous. Come on, this time. So Danny's pulled rank. He's jumped in the Rimac for a drive. He wants to race me on this, which will be interesting to say the least.
And a little tip, you might want to just put your head back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you'll see. Oh yes, blimey. Wow, I'll tell you what, now, Danny, just floor the accelerator, floor it, just go bank. What?
What? Unbelievable. The head is like
Yeah.
crazy, huh?
Yeah. That's why I'm so fast, it's the car, it's so easy.
And the grip?
It's mad.
You beat me with everything today, Danny. Good race, man. We killed the clutch now.
Really?
Oh, really?
Yeah. Matthew, thank you.
No worries.
Danny, superstar. That was awesome.
I can only imagine. I did ask for a go, but they were not forthcoming. But to ride something like this, having now seen how fast it is compared to that Hayabusa, which is ridiculous, being on that Hayabusa and watching this disappear, but knowing that this is actually just as capable around corners, in terms of its outright performance, the Hayabusa, when you get to a corner, with all strapped down like that, it's not going to go around. Whereas this is designed to go round racetracks, but it still manages to go as fast as it does in a straight line. It's actually mind-boggling. And it's such a tiny, cramped little cockpit as well. You're curled up in a ball on the thing. It's not super low on the bars. You'd expect the handlebars with race bikes, but I think it's that kind of new school style with higher bar. But yeah, a phenomenal bit of kit and destroyed everything. Beat the Rimac, and the Rimac is not an ordinary car. That is a ridiculous, one of a kind car that is renowned for being the fastest thing in the world in a straight line, outside of drag racing, and this beat it on roll-on, beat it on drag races. There was a bit of to and fro with Matt and Danny over who was jump starting more, but this thing, MotoGP bikes are awesome. So obviously today was a phenomenal chance to ride this bike, but also to race with Danny. I mean, you saw this from the outside. What did you think of the SuperBusa?
Yeah, it was, when I first looked at you doing some practice starts, I kind of, felt like I had competition this time, not compared to last year. But then I saw you were struggling with the traction and putting the power down. So I said, maybe still I have an edge.
Still have the edge, yeah. Yeah, it was incredible. Like, even when I got a couple of starts that were kind of okay, and it was mad to be, half of my brain was going, this thing's incredible, I can't believe how fast I'm going. And then the other half of my brain was going, hang on a minute. There's a kind of MotoGP bike walking away from me. Like, was that kind of on the limit for you on how fast you can get that off the line today?
Yes, I was trying my best. Of course, always when you have the great temperature on the tires, you can even get better starts, but pretty close.
Yeah, awesome. Well, Danny, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thanks for racing us. Thanks for thrashing me again.
No worries.
I'll be back next year with more traction.
Sure.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.